Peace and love, everybody. Today is day 4 of the RV build, and with that being said, that means we have to take care of some stuff that I was not able to complete yesterday. Yesterday was a full day. I ended up spending a lot longer at Service Ontario than I was expecting, and it was extremely humid. So I got a little work done. I got everything out of the RV. The beds are out. Everything that was inside, I managed to get it all out. There's a lot of stuff just hanging around. The tables, the cushions, all that stuff. So that's all out, and now I have room to start cleaning and getting everything tidied up and sanitary, so that I can begin to check off everything else along the way on that's on my list, like taking the ceiling out, taking the bed frame apart, taking the flooring out, finishing the cab area, all of these things that I need space to do, and I just want to take care of some sanitary things first. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there's a crack in the U-pipe underneath the sink, and so there's a bucket there, but obviously that bucket wasn't always there. It was leaking before they realized what the issue was, and there's a bit of water, not damage, but you could tell that there's water sitting there, and there's some mold on the press board. It's not the actual flooring, so I'm going to remove that and replace it, and hopefully the actual flooring underneath of that press board is in good condition. I don't have to replace that. Same with behind the bed. The thing with having a mattress on plywood like that is a lot of moisture is created under there. These things that don't ventilate very well. This is the same with if you had a bus build or anything along those lines. But it needs to have like a mildew coating and a thing that will separate the mattress to the board. So this would have to have a special paint on it, and then it would have like a type of sponge layer, whatever that allows it to breathe. It's like divots in it, and you can also cut out holes sparingly across with like a circular saw that will allow it to allow airflow. Here you can see where the mattress was pressed against the wall. There's like what appears to be some mold, so I'm gonna have to clean all of that off. I'm gonna be removing this anyways, and I'm gonna be using a stronger board. This is really thin, and the hinge is all rusty, so that's how you know there was moisture trapped there. And where the mold is underneath here, it's way at the back there on the wall. I'm not sure if you can see from here. Probably not, but it's just underneath the wiring there that's stapled to the wall, and it's like a fuzzy mold. It's not the same as that one, so definitely need to address that for health reasons as well as structural reasons. And this looks alright. It doesn't look like water damage. It's just very dirty. This is the old water heater. It's a tank one. I have the tankless water heater there now, so that's not in use. And because it's not in use, it's just sitting there taking up space. I'm going to be removing it, but the door on the exterior is attached to it, so all of that would be coming out, and then I'm just gonna most likely build a new door there that's a locking door, because I'm gonna use this area for my solar setup. My batteries will be in there, and as well as all the other necessities for setting that up, like the bus bar, the inverter, and things along that line. The breaker is right here, so I figure it's not too far to get the wiring across. It's just a matter of how I'm gonna wire it across the floor here. Obviously this flooring will be taken out, but I may have to kind of like cut a path in the floor to like channel them underneath, and then I can put the flooring on top of that to hide the channel, so I could get it under here. If I have to put a little hole in the closet, I'd be okay with that. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I just want to be able to have access to the solar setup easily. The breaker's already pretty difficult to access. It's looking like I'm gonna have to remove this because the only way I can see into there is through here, which is under the sink, and it's like impossible to get under there. It's such a small area, and you can't really access it from the outside. The shore power plug, probably can't see that either from here, is directly behind the breaker, and there's a door there, but the door is like literally this big, so there's no doing electrical work from there. I'd have to probably pull this out or cut this out and then work from under there, but then I run the risk of cutting a wire because I can't see anything, so I'm most likely just going to pull the breaker out, attach everything, and then feed it through underneath, like behind, underneath, across, and then into here. This is definitely the best option for storing that. I don't really have any other spot for it. I can't put it with the heater. This is the freshwater tank. There's central heating that's running, so I can't put it beside the breaker, and I don't want to just have it inside my closet. I'm going to need that storage space. So once this hot water tank is out, I'm going to have quite a lot of room in there, especially at the back, and I can use that door to access my batteries from the outside if I need to, and I'm going to make sure I get a locking door so no one steals my stuff, and then I'll just be able to use this long space here, which also goes a bit behind into the shower area for whatever else. I can just put totes in here. These will move over, and I can just put bins here to access them easily. This isn't built out, so I could even just slide them out if I wanted to, but I'm thinking I'm gonna close this off, and then that way I can mount my screens for the charge controller and whatnot, so I can see how much power I have while they're charging and while I'm using it. So I don't have to drill into anything that's already built. I can just build this out across here, and yeah, I can just mount everything there, or I can turn this into an opening door. Whatever I feel is the best option for that, but obviously that won't get done until the water tank is out and I have everything I need to set it up. Another thing that I wasn't sure about in terms of power is I was opening everything yesterday, and I found this power cord that runs all the way across, and then I'm assuming it runs through here and then to the breaker. I don't know which wire it is. I haven't been able to take this out. You can't see any of that stuff when you're just looking at the breaker. So I definitely have to take this out and look behind and then trace the wire back, but I know where that wire leads to. It's this plug right here, and it plugs into the inverter they have mounted here, which would then run to the battery in the cabin. I'm assuming they had it running to the accessory battery. They had it all unplugged because the previous owner said that it uses way too much power. Obviously it's a 110 volt or 120 volt inverter running from like a marine battery, an accessory battery. So if that's powering everything in here on AC power, it would definitely drain it extremely fast. But if that's the case, and they already have something wired to the inverter, I can use that to my advantage when I'm doing my solar setup. Once I have the panels on the roof running to the breaker and then to the charge controller, I can then set that up to run directly to the inverter. And then when I have this wire plugged into the inverter and the inverter connected to the bus bar or whatever it is that I need to get to do all that, I'm still not 100% certain on everything that I'll need in the setup process, but obviously we'll be learning along the way. And yeah, once that wire's plugged into the inverter and it's getting power from the solar system, if I constantly have that plugged in, I'm pretty sure I can run everything on AC power, because that's kind of what they were doing here. They were taking it from the 12 volt battery and turning it into 120 volts with that inverter. But if I do that with solar instead of the battery, it'll be coming from the solar batteries, obviously, instead of the battery in the engine compartment. I'll obviously have a lot more power, a continuous supply of power, and I can run everything on AC instead of DC. But there's obviously some things in here that will always run on DC, like these lights will always be DC. There's no need for them to be running on alternating current. Anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I was a little concerned at first in terms of how I was gonna sort all that out and have enough space in the breaker for connecting all of that stuff. But this wire that I discovered running from the breaker to the inverter just gave me a little glimpse of hope. Whether it's that serious or not in terms of how it's going to help me out, I just feel confident about moving forward with that, just knowing that some stuff was already done there and that I was working properly. And yeah, another thing we're going to be doing is seeing how well the AC works today. It is extremely hot today, and it's another humid day as well. It's about 31 degrees Celsius, and inside here it's definitely hotter than that. Even though I have the windows open, there's not much breeze today, and I feel like I'm cooking in here. So we're gonna get this guy running. I gotta go up onto the roof and take the cover off, and then we're gonna see how well it runs and how cool I can get it in here. I have pretty much every window open right now, and it's still really hot, so they definitely have something running under the floor here too. You can feel it, or there's a gap in the flooring right here. It sags quite a bit. So we'll address that as well when we get the flooring up. Each day that I'm in here, I just discover more things that are odd and that I'm gonna have to take care of, and it's gonna be a lot of work, but I'm excited. I'm gonna get a lot of experience. I've never really done anything like this in terms of renovations, electrical, plumbing, or any of that sort. I'm a detailer by profession, as well as an herbalist, and those are my two businesses that I run here locally. And yeah, so today we're going to be cleaning inside here. It's more of like a house type cleaning, but in the cabin area it'll be easy for me. It's just another day of detailing pretty much, and then everything else I'll just have to transfer those skills, and I'm sure I'll figure it all out. It'll be fun. It'll be hot, but it'll be fun. Anyways, I'll catch you in a bit. I'm gonna get everything set up to get cleaning in here. I'm gonna get that cover off, and then I'll check in with you in a bit. What's up, everybody? I just got back from being on the roof, and I took the AC cover off, like the weather cover, and I revealed that the plastic AC cover that protects the unit is like broken in half. So the actual metal part, like the box part of it, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's what feeds right here into that fan, is covered, and then the rest, like the compressor and all the lines, and then the fan and the radiator, I guess, or the vent, I'm not sure what it's called, is like all exposed, and it was full of, I kid you not, it was like this thick of like branches and dirt and leaves, and it had like compacted itself into a nice, looked like almost like a bird's nest, but it was just flat. So I broke it all up. I brought the shop vac up on the roof, and I vacuumed it all out. I got all the fuzz out. I'm not sure why the AC unit just turned off, but I had it running, and it was running really well. I had it plugged into a power bar, and that had shut itself off automatically because I guess it's drawing too much power. So I changed it to a different location, and it was working fine, and it just shut itself off again. So I don't know. I don't know if it's drawing too much power and it's causing the circuit to trip, so that the fuse doesn't blow, like in where it's plugged into, or what's going on. But that's the second time that's happened. I was just about to say good news, the AC is working, and it blows pretty cold. It would obviously take a long time for this thing to cool down. It's still really hot in here, but over here, when you touch it, it's cold. It's a little cooled down, but up here at the front it's really hot. At the back it's really hot still. So I'm gonna go investigate and see why that just happened. I guess I'll bring you guys with me. Okay, I found the issue, and it kept turning off a few times afterwards, but I got it all sorted out. So initially I had it plugged in here, and this would keep shutting off, I guess, to keep from the fuse to break or whatever, cause electrical fire, etc. I was using this cord, and then I had moved it to a outlet on the house, and then that was shutting itself off as well, and I had to keep resetting the breaker. But then I read this cord, and you'll probably not be able to see that, maybe. It says 13 amps, and the connection for the shore power goes from 30 amps right here to 15 amps here. And so there was not enough amperage coming through the power cord, so I found this other one, which isn't mine. I'm using it for the time being. It's my grandfather's. Another shout out to my grandfather. Which is so they're rated for the same, and everything is staying on properly. And with that being said, the fridge may even run colder now that it's getting the necessary power. It was running on this cord fine, and I'm hoping it didn't do any damage. But the freezer is super cold. The fridge, it doesn't seem that cold compared to the freezer, obviously, but all the wires don't seem hot or anything. Initially, when I had it plugged in the very first day when I was trying to sort it out, these wires were extremely hot. I don't know why, but they were. But now that's all seemed to have sorted itself out. And that's good news in my books. This is another thing it'd be nice to have a lock on. So this is the door for the hot water tank. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how it's bolted onto the actual hot water tank where the hinge is? And then you can see literally into underneath my bed from here. So it's not even the right size. It seems like they added a different one in where there used to be like a frame out there, because there's screw holes, but I'm not sure. There's screw holes here too, so I'm not sure what they had going on, but that's not good. Anyway, so I got the AC working. Oh, what a big difference. Massive difference. It's so cold. Oh, this is great news. So that's already working a lot better. Yeah, the fridge, when you feel inside the fridge, like the sides, they feel not cold at all. This feels somewhat cold, and this feels cold to the touch, but it's not super cold. So I'm hoping that just comes back on. The freezer is super cold. You can see there's frost. Stick my head inside, and it is very cold. So with that being said, I'm just hoping that the fridge gets a lot colder, and that'll give me some peace of mind, because it doesn't seem that cold. I'm gonna get something to put inside and see if it just refrigerates the items really well and doesn't actually get the space that cold, because that's what the old owners have told me. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but there's only one way to find out, really. So I'm gonna get like a can or something that gets cold to the touch, that's noticeable, and leave it in there for the evening and see what happens. I'm actually supposed to go out this evening, and time got away from me for the third day in a row. So I don't even think I'm gonna be able to get any vacuuming or cleaning done today. I'll reserve that for tomorrow. It's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna putz around or check anything out. I know I needed to get this working today, make sure that it was working today, and I thought I would just have to take the cover off and turn it on, but that never seems to be the case. There's always something. Like, I had to go up on the roof, vacuum out all that dirt, and then I had to deal with the electrical issue, which took probably 45 minutes to an hour. Changing outlets, resetting the breaker, changing power cords. Then that wasn't working, and I had to go and reset the main breaker over here, which was the last thing that occurred to me, but it should have been obvious in the first place. It was this guy right here. I just had to reset that. Everything else is working well, and I don't see any blown fuses, so we're good on that end. Not sure what this is. 2. I don't know. Anyways. Someone is messing with my door. So yeah, there's that. I seem to have just gotten a power cord stolen from me. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave everything in here how it is. I'm gonna leave the AC on for a bit. Just let it run for like the next hour or however long I'm here for. And then I'm gonna turn it off. And just see how cold it gets in. It was a good test. At least I got that done. I didn't have a very full day today. I only had a few hours to get shit done today. Yeah, I'm gonna go shower because I'm extremely hot and sweaty, and then I'm gonna get ready to leave, and then I'll check in with you guys later tonight, hopefully. Peace.